What's up, YouTube family? This is your girl Dominique from Pretty Right Notary Services, and you are about to watch part 2 of how to use Calendly for your notary business. Now, I did post last week the part 1 of how to use Calendly for your notary business, where it showed you basically how the client uses Calendly when they're booking an appointment with you. So I will be sure to drop that link so that you'll be able to actually watch part 1. But nevertheless, we are about to, just do part 2, and you're going to be able to see a more in-depth look of how you'll be using Calendly as a notary behind the scenes, okay? So make sure you grab a pen and paper, or get your notes out, your notebook or whatever, and just take some notes. If you have questions along the way, please feel free to jot those down and put them in the comments. I will be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, this is where we're going to talk about the behind the scenes of Calendly. Okay, this is the area that you will be solely working in when you are building out your Calendly events or services. So I'm just going to show you a handful of things that I think are essential for you to know. And then, of course, if you have questions, I will do my best to answer them because I'm still learning as I go. But guess what? We can learn together. So nevertheless, I'm just going to go get started here. So I'm under my account. I'm under event types. And so again, scrolling down, these are all the services that I offer. Okay. So show more. And so this is pretty much it. Now, let's just say, now I did show you the Oakland, Macomb County one notarization, what the client saw. So I'm going to choose that same service so you all can see the behind the scenes of that. Okay, so I'm going to click the settings button and I'm going to click edit. Now, there are several boxes here, and there are boxes within boxes. So we're just going to take it one step at a time. I want you to make sure you digest this information because it is important. And of course, you can, just pick what you think is helpful and just kind of leave the rest or whatnot. So what event is this? And so that is where I got the name Oakland, Macomb County, one notarization. I ask the client what their location is. I give them a description or instructions. Now, you could change this for each of your services, but I just put the same thing on each service option because they'll see the full message. Okay. Now, what's really cool is there is an event link. So let's say I speak to a client and they say, hey, I'm ready to book an appointment, yada, yada, yada. And so I direct them to, the actual site to book their notarization because they're like, okay, I'm in Oakland County and I need one notarization. Perfect. I'm literally going to give them this exact link, calendly.com /Pretty Right Notary /Oakland Macomb 1. Okay, so I can change the very end of that web link to OM1 or whatever I want to, just to make it shorter for the client, but it literally will take them directly to choosing the date and time that they would like to schedule a notarization for Oakland or Macomb County. I hope I'm not losing you here. And then also you can choose your event color, the little color stripes that's up top. Next is, when can people book this event? Now, scrolling down here, let's see. Next section we have is, when can people book this event? So when you click on here, this is where you'll be able to put, of course, additional details about how far out the client can schedule an appointment. So I did put 60 calendar days. Of course, remember you still have flexibility of choosing whatever you like here. Also, you want to make sure you put the duration of the event, right? So I do have 60 minutes as a buffer for me. However, if you feel like 30 or 45 minutes is sufficient for each of your notary appointments, absolutely go ahead and do that. But I just want to make sure that I'm providing time for the client and I'm not feeling rushed or they're not feeling rushed. And so just want to give them that time. And then also, even after the notary appointment, you kind of want a little bit of breather, right? Because you're going from person to person, place to place. So I do have 60 minutes here. Now, they're asking, how do you want to offer your availability for this event type? Now, for this specific event, Oakland, Macomb County, one notarization, I'm just going to use an existing schedule. And the existing schedule is based off of my availability for all of my events. I will go into detail with you later in this video, but let's just say outside of the existing schedule, you wanted to set custom hours for just this event only, you absolutely can set custom hours and then you can set those times, right? Make sure you have the check, make sure you have the both time frames, and then you would add it. And so that is how you can offer availability for your event type. Okay. Now they do ask, which schedule do you want to use for this event type? I only have one schedule, which is working hours. But again, we will go into the availability tab because you can have multiple schedules and you can just choose from the drop down whatever works best for you. Right now, it does show my weekly hours or my availability from Sunday to Saturday every week. The great benefit about having Calendly and your availability, let's just say next week on next Saturday is my birthday and I don't want to work on that Saturday. I literally can do a date override where I could just say I'm not available specifically on that day. It won't interrupt any of my schedules or anything like that. It will only block off that one day and it will just notify the date override over here. Okay. Next, it says, want to add time before or after your events. So typically, this is again to give you some buffer time so you can prepare before and after your event. I do 1 hour here before my event, and then I also do 30 minutes afterward, right? Because what if the appointment does take it does take an hour, and then I got another appointment, right? I at least want the 30-minute buffer because I still have to make sure I drive there. So those are just things that I keep in mind. But of course, you can set it to however you like. Additional rules for your availability. Show available start times and increments of, and then it gives you these options, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, and 60 minutes. Now, for me, I chose 30 minutes, right? So that means that it's going to show 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, right? So, clients can choose, they're only choosing a 30-minute increment, so the available time. Now, scheduling conditions. Now, this is pretty cool because sometimes people are okay with getting those very last minute appointments, but others, you may not feel comfortable. So, for me personally, the invitees can't schedule within 2 hours of an event start time. So, let's say a client is interested in setting a 6:30 appointment, right? Then that means that after 4:30, they cannot set that appointment. Now, I could make this an hour. That would be pretty cool, right? Or a half an hour. But again, this is your business. You set up as you like. Time zone display. So, of course, you want to detect and show the times in your client's time zone. So there's no confusion there. And then you can make this a secret event. Basically, the people you share it with, they will only be able to see the link if you share it with them. Okay. All right, 5 more boxes here. So hopefully I didn't lose you. I'm trying to keep it steady, but I just want to show you this is a very detailed video. Now, next we have the invitee questions. Now, these are the questions that I am asking the client up front, right? This is where it takes a lot of the legwork out for us as notaries because we're asking this information up front. We don't have to worry about getting a pen and paper and trying to write it down unless you want to, do that. But the whole point is to streamline the process. So this is where I literally added all the questions that I could think of just off the top of my head that I typically ask a client, and I added them here. Okay. Now, there are several different options here where you can do like I think these are called like radio buttons where a client can like choose, one of the options, or, you have them where you have like the blank line where they can actually type in a sentence and what may have you. So this is really good. Just one thing that really helped was just writing out the questions that I typically ask. And then once I saw those questions, I try to do less than 10 questions because it's so much information. I don't want the client to get overwhelmed, but I also want to make sure that I'm getting all the information I need so that I'll be able to serve them properly. So this is where I put the questions. Next, we have workflow. Now, a workflow, this is actually pretty cool. This is pretty much the timeline that Calendly will follow from start to finish of a client booking a notary appointment with you. So, for example, let's say your client, they went ahead and they booked an appointment with you, okay? The event is booked. So then right after that, depending on your thresholds, right after that, you will get the text message and it'll say, hey, client A just booked an appointment for one notarization, Oakland and Macomb County. Then after that, the client will be sent an email reminder just to let them know, hey, you have an appointment with your notary. Of course, you can set that at any time. And then after that, you can send another email, whether you want to send them another reminder or say, please don't forget to bring, your unexpired ID or what may have you. So you really get to set the time parameters on when those are sent out. And then let's say you have the notary appointment, right? You work with the client, everything goes smooth. And so you're like, okay, well, I hope you have a great day. You can kind of give them a heads up that they will receive a follow-up email and, just ask them for a review, right? Want to make sure we get those 5 stars out there. So right after the end of your notary appointment, then you can send a follow-up email. There's so much power in follow-up, right? Just have the thank you email where you just let them know, hey, thank you so much for choosing to do business with me, and yada, 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 right? So this is what a workflow is. I didn't build this out. However, I do have something simpler underneath, okay? Next, we're looking at notifications and cancellation policy. So calendar invitations. Okay, when a client books an appointment, I do have the option of having an event sent to my calendar as well as my clients so they can put it in their calendar to let them know, hey, you have an appointment here. And you can absolutely personalize that message when the appointment is booked. Okay, so it would just have the client's full name and my name. And then after that, in the body of the email, you can put anything that you want in the body of the email. But to keep it simple, what I did was I just included the event name, and then it would say Oakland, Macomb County, one notarization here. It would have the description. It would have the location that the client put as far as where they'd like us to meet. And then I will also include like their questions and answers from when they actually filled out that questionnaire, right? Just in case they want to go back and see exactly what they put in. And it's also helpful for you too. So it kind of serves as like a little friendly reminder of who this client is, where you're meeting them, and what they're asking you to notarize. Okay. Remember, I talked about email reminders. Okay. You can set up a reminder for your clients to be emailed. You again have full control over what you want the subject line to be as well as the body. And then also you can choose the timing in which you want to send that reminder. Okay. Same thing here with the email follow-up. Remember, there is power in follow-up. So you want to personalize it here. Again, you want to make sure that you choose a nice subject line as well as create a message in the body of your email. Now, one thing I do want to show you is these little great things. And so like you've seen these great things in the communication, the email communication, those are called variables. Okay, so this says hi, invitee first name. So that means whatever the client filled out in the first name field on the questionnaire, that's the name that's going to appear here. Okay, I'm just going to delete this really quick and say hi, and then I'm going to add a variable. Let's say I put their full name instead of just their first name. Let's say it's John Doe. Okay, and so instead of it just saying hi John, I want the invitee full name to be right here instead of the first name. So then it will say hi John Doe instead of just hi John. Okay, so that is what a variable is. Also, again, I think I told you this, make sure that you have the timing in which you would like this to be sent out, the follow-up. You can even do it like 5 minutes after the appointment. So if the appointment ended at 4 o'clock, then at 4:05, they should be getting this email, okay? Even if you want to do 1 minute, that the sooner the better. And maybe I need to change mine too. But here, then we have the text reminders. This again, remember the client, we ask the client for their phone number at the very end, and that's if they want to opt into receiving text reminders. You can personalize this as well. Just create a short message, let them know, hey, your notary appointment is at this time, at this place, and call me if you need to cancel. And then I also have the timing in which I want that to be sent. You can add different additional reminders or additional email follow-ups and things of that nature if you want, but I just want to send them like one notification via email so they have it on their phone, give them a text reminder if they prefer, and then give them a follow-up when I'm asking for a review. But everyone gets that. Then we have show cancellation policy, and so you can include the cancel and reschedule links and notifications when the client is made aware of their appointment. And then you want to put your cancellation policy right here so they will have visibility and they don't have to guess, right? You want to take that guesswork out. Okay. Almost done here. So then we have the confirmation page, right? So the confirmation page is basically the page that appears after the client has confirmed their appointment with you. I don't have anything custom here, but you can absolutely do that. Like if you have some kind of thank you page on your website or anything like that, you can add like a custom link. So you can absolutely do that. Cancel here. And then last but not least, collect payments. This is a part of the premium package where I collect payments before the actual notary appointment, so the client can make a payment online. So you do have the option of having services or events listed out where you do not collect payments for the event. Like let's just say your client, you're accepting cash and they have this event. That means that they're just confirming their appointment. But if you are someone who may prefer to be paid up front before the notary appointment, you can go through PayPal or Stripe. After you do that, you put the amount that needs to be collected, and then you put the payment terms, which I do give them like the refund policy. Okay. All right. So that is the in-depth version of looking at how to set up your event type, aka one of your services. Before showing you my availability and how you can build out the schedule, I do want to say that if you are thinking of maybe adopting this format where you have like one county but different amounts of notarization. So, for example, where you see Wayne County one notarization all the way to Wayne County five notarizations. What was really helpful for me, of course, that first questionnaire that I had to build out with the follow-up emails and the reminders and everything like that, it definitely took some time to build out. However, after I built that one out, things became a lot easier for me. And I'm going to show you a nice little shortcut. So, for example, let's say I just wanted to create another Wayne County one notarization. If you click settings here, you can click clone. Okay. When you click clone, they're literally the same exact event types. Now this one is off. So that means that nobody can see it yet. But once you finish everything, you can switch the on button or switch it to on, and then it will be on your page. But let's just say instead of one notarization, I wanted it to be two notarizations, right? Take out the word clone. Pretty much all the information is the same. I might want to change the event link to Wayne 2, choose the color. Again, all this information is still built out. I'm just going to click cancel just so we can see. Still got the same questions. Remember, you can always edit these and just put like whatever other questions you want, or you can even delete a question and add a question. But just know it's pretty much like a copy and paste of the last template that you cloned. Okay. So that's what this is. That is really helpful. That's what was allowing me to get all of those services on one page instead of doing it one by one by one. Oh my goodness, that would have been a whole lot of work there. But just wanted to show you that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because this is no longer needed. Okay. All right, cool. And that is how you create your event types. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to show you how to set up your availability, okay, in Calendly. Now, these are the schedules that you want to create. And so with the working hours, I have my schedule as working hours, and it literally allows me to set my hours for whatever days and time frames I'd like to work. Now, the cool part about this is that you can create multiple schedules. So, for example, let's say my current schedule here that I already have, I only wanted that schedule to appear on one of my services, right? And so what I would do is I would just uncheck all of the other events or services. And then what would happen is I would click save, and this schedule will only show on one of those events. Okay. But then you have another schedule that you want to show on the rest of them. So then you can click new schedule, and you could do working hours part 2, create. So you have 2 different schedules now, right? And then let's say this is a completely different schedule from the first one. And then you wanted to make it active on only Wayne County 2 notarizations and Wayne County 3 notarizations. The cool part about this is that it does tell you which schedule it's on already. So like it says working hours here, working hours. That means it's already on a schedule. But if it wasn't, then it would be blank. Okay. All right, and then the thing that I also want to show you, so we talked about date overrides. Like let's just add a date override so you can see it. Let's say, again, next Saturday is my birthday. Now, these are the hours that it will show if I was available. But because I do not want to be available at all on that day, I would just click delete or the trash can. It would say unavailable. I would click apply, and then this would literally apply to all of the event types that is on my working hours schedule. Okay. Now, one thing that was also helpful, let's say on Friday, let's say on Friday, I'm already available from 6:30 to 9:30. But let's say I also am available early in the morning from like 9 to 12, right? I could just click the add button and I can do, let's see, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So now it'll show availability for a client to book an appointment from 9 to 12 as well as from 6:30 to 9:30. You click apply and then it would populate on all of your services. Okay. All right, and I believe that this pretty much wraps up the in-depth view of Calendly, and I hope this was extremely helpful to give you the behind the scenes as well as let you see exactly what clients can see once you set it all up. Again, if you have any questions along the way, then please feel free to ask me and I will help you the best way I can. All right, YouTube family, you just saw part 2 of how to use Calendly for your notary business. I hope that you found it just as insightful as part 1. Again, I will be putting the link to part 1 in the description box below. But nevertheless, if you did like this video, please make sure you hit the like button. And if you like the content that I've been sharing thus far, please hit the subscribe button. Nevertheless, I hope you got some benefits from the video, and also I hope you have an abundance of success in your notary business, and I hope that you're staying safe and healthy. All right, until next time, see you later.